In section 3.1, we're going to learn about reference angles. The first statement that I have there just gives you the purpose of why we have the reference angles. You can use it to find values of trig functions of angles beyond your 90 degrees, going from 0 to 90 degrees. So like if you were wanting to know what is sine of 120 degrees, knowing reference angles is going to help you out with those types of situations. All right, the second statement there is just the definition of reference angle. This will be the notation that is used to stand for reference angle. So it's just your theta, like with a little house top on it. But to be able to find a reference angle for any angle in standard position, it's going to be the positive acute angle that's between the terminal side of the angle and the x-axis. So we'll look at drawing some reference angles or determining some reference angles in just a minute. One other statement that I have here, it says a trig function of an angle and its reference angle are the same except perhaps for a difference in sign. So, of course, this is one of the exact values that you already know. We know that sine 30 degrees is equal to 1/2. So by knowing how to use reference angles and work with those, we will be able to come up with, say, the value of sine of 210 degrees, which happens to be -1/2. So that's what it means by perhaps it has a difference in sign. So this one is a positive 1/2, this one's a -1/2. Sometimes they're exactly the same, but they can differ by sign. And like I said, we'll learn how to use a reference angle to be able to come up with angles besides those that are between 0 degrees and 90 degrees. All right, first couple of examples here that we're going to look at is just determining how to find a reference angle. So first of all, you're told to draw the following angles in standard position and then to name the reference angle. All right, starting with the first one, since we're going to draw it in standard position, you got your x and your y axis. Of course, you're going to start at the positive end of your x-axis, and this is a positive angle, so that means we'll rotate counterclockwise. So, of course, going through the first quadrant, it's 90 degrees. So you would need to go, I believe it's 34.7. So you go through the first quadrant, which is 90, and then go another 37 or 34.7. Okay, so this is the 124.7 degrees in standard position. Now, based on the definition that I showed you just a second ago about reference angle, it says that it's the positive acute angle that's between the terminal side of the angle and the x-axis. So this line that I've drawn in is your terminal side. So you're wanting the angle that's between the terminal side and the x-axis. So this portion from here to here, that's going to be that reference angle. Okay, so we just need to figure out what is that amount. So if we know that this is 34.7 degrees, then this amount would have to be 55.3 degrees. So that is what is referred to as your reference angle, 55.3 degrees. Okay, the second one that I have here is -145 degrees, 20 minutes. So drawing that one in standard position, again, you'd start on the positive end of your x-axis, this time rotate clockwise. Of course, you can just use your calculator to help you do the calculations here, but you would need to keep everything in degrees and minutes. So rotating through the fourth quadrant, of course, that's 90 degrees. So you would need to go 55 degrees, 20 minutes more. So that would put your terminal side somewhere in this area. So the amount that we have here is the 55 degrees, 20 minutes. So from here to here is just your given angle, drawn in standard position. So your reference angle Again, it has to be from the terminal side to the x-axis. You always have to go back to the x-axis. So that portion will be your reference angle. So like I said, just use your calculator to help you do the calculations. You do have to, again, keep it in degrees and minutes, since that's the way the angle's given to you. So your reference angle here is going to end up being 34 degrees 40 minutes. Now, one thing that will confuse you sometimes is because the angle that's given to you is negative, you just have a reaction to name the reference angle as being negative as well. But if you look back at the definition that I gave you a while ago for reference angle, it did specify that it has to be a positive acute angle. So your reference angle is always positive.